Les?
One of the goals of all of this and to increase competition is to increase the price paid by the packer to a feedlot or a producer for his cattle that would be comparable then to some of the larger places that are getting these sweetheart deals. That increases the cost or the outlay that the packer is paying for the cattle. Would that not then translate to a higher cost at the retail level, and that could result in a reduced demand from the general consuming public for beef?
I don't know that I'm competent to answer it, but I can give you my impression. First of all, I think at the retail level, food should bring whatever it costs to produce and deliver the food, plus a reasonable profit for the people involved in that. Nothing else works. Somebody's got to go broke otherwise. But I don't see that it would necessarily increase food prices. If the guy getting a sweetheart deal has a sweetheart deal taken away, and that amount of money would flow back to the guy who's not getting a sweetheart deal, maybe they both could live. But yeah, Mike?
I'm in the retail meat business also with my company, Ranch Foods Direct. And one of the things that's very, very stunning and remarkable about what has occurred in the last 30 years is the amount of margins the big retailers have captured in this marketplace. It's today the retailer has the power over the packer. In fact, you've got, as we said before, we've got Walmart leading the charge with the most market power. And for us to get that market power redistributed back down the line to where the prices are fair at the farm and ranch gate is only going to be done through competitive markets. But the retail sector has got to be addressed separately through antitrust, and that is going to be done. We're going to have a workshop on that in Washington in December. But right now, Walmart's in control. They can do pretty much what they want. John Tyson told me himself I was suing the wrong people with IBP when he was buying IBP. He said, you know, you should be suing Walmart. Walmart dictates price to us. We have no choice but to pay you less. And you know, to address Chris Clayton's question about volume, I really think this comes down to two visions of what agriculture should look like. We've got an industrial model which has been developed over the last 50 years that has become very highly concentrated. It's captured a lot of the profit at the top in just a few hands. And on the other hand, before 35 or 50 years ago, we had a widely diverse family farm agriculture in America. And which serves consumers best? What serves communities and regions and people on the land and our environment the best? This is what really comes down to the argument today. Should the rules be enforced that can bring back some health back to our rural communities by increasing income at the farm and ranch gate, or should we continue on this same path with concentration and consolidation and big volume dictating all the terms and all the profits flowing into those pockets? That's really the question. Are we going to have an industrial agriculture, or are we going to have a family farm-based agriculture?
But economically, doesn't an industrial base actually work cheaper and produce larger amounts of food cheaper than the smaller family farm operations? True, you have more money flowing within the local rural communities with smaller family farm operations, but don't the efficiencies of the larger operations come into play here and make food production more efficient with the larger farms and production areas?
Les, your question is very complex, as I think you know, and there are a lot of issues. Fortunately for you, there's no chalkboard here. I'd be up there drawing lines all over the place and all kinds of mathematics. To the extent that some are getting a sweetheart deal and that is eliminated, it would just be a leveling of the pay and probably no consumer impact of that. If so, it would be in mathematics we call it infinitesimal, which is extremely small but not zero. There are also competition issues with contracting between food retailers and the packers and the integrators. A lot of it is covered by long-term fixed price contracts, fixed or long-term being 12 to 18 months. And with those types of contracts, when demand shifts down like it did, the full effect is felt at the farm and ranch level. So the farm and ranch level becomes a whole shock absorber for the industry, which is a fairness and a competition issue to the extent that packers are and retailers are contracting and locking in a profit margin. There are competition issues there. So there are many, many different dimensions and aspects of that. It's really not over efficiency with fed cattle production, in my opinion. And to go further, the word efficiency has many different meanings. In common discussion in the industry, you hear about efficiency. They're talking about private economic efficiency, efficiency at a feedlot. There's another concept that is aggregate economic efficiency that applies to antitrust law and Packers and Stockyard Act. And in a perfect world with competition, if you have private efficiency at a feedlot or a poultry house, you also get aggregate economic efficiency. But if monopoly or monopsony power is exerted, even with perfect efficiency at the farm level or at the packer level, you do not have aggregate economic efficiency. So put y'all to sleep with academic mumbo jumbo.